Good morning, federal employees. If you're watching this, I hope you are a foreign service federal employee who works for, of course, the foreign service. If you're not, this is not going to apply to you, okay? Just fair warning. You want to be a foreign service federal employee. And if you are, this is going to apply to you perfectly because the rules for you are a little different than all other types of federal employees. We're going to talk about what retirement rules you need to know about, when you can retire, what you're going to get when you retire, what the heck does that look like? And if you're new here, consider subscribing because we have great content for you as federal employees, specifically for, let's say, foreign service and for every type of federal employee. And there's tons of great free resources in the description below to help you get there to a great, incredible retirement. Let's dive right in. As a foreign service federal employee, the system and the rules are a little different than your counterparts in other federal agencies that have different retirement rules. Long story short, when can you retire? That's one of the first questions we have to answer. And you have to meet one of two criteria. Number one, you have to have at least 20 years of service at age 50 or later. If you hit that, boom, you can retire. Or the other criteria is you have to have at least 25 years of service at any age. So if you're 45 and you've been working since 20, so that's 25 years, boom, you can retire. Otherwise, you got to be age 50 with at least 20 years of foreign service time, okay? Once you hit one of those criteria, what the heck does retirement mean? Well, that means you can retire, get a pension right away, and keep things most often like your health insurance, life insurance, etc. Right? Those are the biggest benefits that you get by retiring from the government. Now, if you don't hit one of those criteria, you can often get a pension, but maybe later. But you have to hit one of those criteria to get the full-blown pension right away. So, food for thought there. Okay, now you as foreign service officers, you know that there is a forced retirement that happens at 65. Basically, once you make it to 65, you're going to be forced out. So just so you know, that is something you have to keep in mind, right? And I'm sure you probably already knew about that. However, now the next question is, okay, I know when I can retire, but how much is my pension? How much am I actually going to get from my pension when I retire? And the good news is the calculation is actually similar to other types of federal employees, so it may sound familiar. Long story short, you're going to find, your first thing you need to find is your high three, which, long story short, your high three is the average salary you got paid during the 3 years you got paid the most. Okay, so if, let's say, your salary in 1 year is $95,000, the next year is $100,000, and the last year of your career was $105,000, well, the average of that is $100,000, right? So your high three would be $100,000. So find that number, your high three, especially if you're close to retirement, find your high three. Your HR will be able to help with that as well. And you want to times that by 20, right? Because you have to have at least 20 years to retire with under the foreign service plan. And you want to times that by 1.7%, okay? Now, anytime you have more than 20 years, there's going to be another part of the formula. But long story short, if you have at least 20 or exactly 20, it's going to be here. Your high three times 20 years times 1.7%. Now, I know on a video or podcast, it's hard to keep track of all this. You can check out the article. It's going to be either below on the website, if you're on the website, or on the YouTube channel. You can go back to the website on hawsfederaladvisors.com and find the article associated to it so you can see the numbers and the examples and go from there. So long story short, you take your high three times 20 times 1.7, and then you want to add for every additional year you have above 20, you got to, again, take your high three times any additional years you have above 20 times 1%. So again, if you want to see those equations, go back to the website, hawsfederaladvisors.com. You could find a search bar. You could search the title of this. You'll find it. It is right there. And you could also search by topic up at the top, and you can find the ones for you. Okay, so let's do an example. Let's say that you have 25 years of service, right? Just to give you an idea, a taste for what your pension might be, how much it might be. Let's say you have 25 years of service and your high three is $100,000, right? So we take your high three, $100,000 times 20 times 1.7, and that equals 34,000. Okay, that's great. Now you've got 25 years of service, not just 20. So you got to take those remaining 5 years and you times that by your high three times 1%, which equals $5,000. So you add those together, that 34,000 and that 5,000. That equals $39,000. So $39,000 would be your gross annual pension, your gross amount you're eligible for every single year once you retire. Now you get paid monthly, so you want to divide that by 12 to get a monthly number, and you got to pay taxes and you got to pay for things, right? Your health insurance, you got to pay for those things out of your pension, but that is your gross number. So that will be a great place for you to start. Okay. Now, you're also often eligible for what they call an FSPS, or a Foreign Service Pension Plan, basically annuity supplement, right? It's going to be called the annuity supplement. Long story short, it's an additional payment above and beyond your pension that you're eligible for from the time you retire till age 62. It's meant to be a bridge from the time you retire to get you to an age where you're eligible for Social Security at 62. So that'll come in there as well. Now, I'm not going to dive into the annuity supplement super deep right now. There's going to be an article. If you go to the article that I wrote about this topic that's connected to this video on the website, hawsfederaladvisors.com, there's going to be a link there that'll walk you through exactly what the FERS supplement is, or not the FERS supplement. That is what it's called for your FERS counterparts, but the annuity supplement for you, the FSPF annuity supplement, what that does, how it works, and how much it's going to be for you. But this video is just going to give you a taste, an introduction to what the Foreign Service Benefit Plan, the plan for you as a Foreign Service officer, might look like, how much it's going to be, and then you can start your journey of educating yourself from here. So I hope that was helpful. If you have any follow-up questions, put in the comments below. We do our best to answer. We certainly can't get to everything, but we do our best. I hope that was helpful. Have an incredible rest of your day. We'll see you guys next time.